Hey guys, I'm with Trish and Jared from, they've come on the Mahindra adventure, as you can see. We've had an awesome time, haven't we guys?
It's been great.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I just wanted to ask, what is it about this beautiful car that you love? And you guys have done a good job with this car, I have to say. It's pretty specky. What is it and what did you do to it? Just tell me a little bit about your story.
We like it because it's great to drive. It's simple to drive.
Yeah.
But it's built tough. It's rugged.
Yeah.
It's simple. Yeah.
And you got over Nagala Rocks pretty easy, I see.
Not a problem.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we got the bumper sticker that says we didn't get bogged.
Yeah.
You know, and we've got a bet on as well. I said we'd get bogged 3 times. Jared reckons once, and so far neither of us are right.
We haven't got bogged at all. So.
No.
Yeah.
And you guys tow a camper trailer as well.
Right. Yeah, we've got a cub camper.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome.
And, so far, it's been great.
No problem.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tell
us a bit about your car. Like, so I mean, it's so different from all the rest. Yours have got bigger wheels.
Yeah. So we upsized. So it's got the 265s instead of the 245s.
And where did you get those from? Because it's a lot of people want to know where you source your stuff.
Yeah, there's a mob in Toowoomba called Toowoomba Precision Steering.
Yep.
And they've been really good. So they did the EFS suspension kit.
Yep.
And they did the tyres at the same time.
And you have got a good little lift there. It's pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. Ryan's his name.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Awesome.
And yeah, so standard winch compatible bull bar.
Yep.
This is a Land Cruiser OCAM.
Yep. OCAM. Yep.
Roof rack. It's made to suit a twin cab 79 series.
Yep.
And it just bolts straight on.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
They didn't know that it fitted a Mahindra, but they do now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
See, this is so great. This is really, really great. I'm really loving all this information.
Okay.
This is super.
And then there's a guy in Toowoomba called Muffler Kings.
Yep.
And they've done a custom 2.5-inch exhaust.
Oh wow! Oh, exhaust.
Yeah.
Okay, so have we changed? Because you know how it goes up and around, like
so
weird.
It breathes a lot easier. They've put a different muffler on the rear, so the whole thing just flows and breathes a lot more cleanly.
I wonder if I can get a little.
So it doesn't sound a lot louder than what it did before, which is.
But has it changed in the dynamics, how it looks?
It just looks slightly bigger. But the thing they did, because the standard one has a flat bit underneath the chassis rail. Yep. And they took that out. Okay. Yeah. So do you think I'll be able to look at it? It's around the outside.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. It's a little beast, this little car. Like, he's got a snorkel, he's got everything on it.
Yeah, so
this is the standard dual cab?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a 2019.
2019. It's such a nice little vehicle. All right, so if I go under here.
Are you able to see it?
There's the diffie. I'll have to have a look under here. Oh, there it is there.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a bit different, and you can see that's a lot different to our regular Mahindras. These trays definitely make a difference. Like mine is quite low, and yours is actually a lot higher up. It makes a massive difference, I think.
And then the other thing we've done, because we've got the tray, I've done twin spares. And
yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
They're mounted with it's a Rhino rack J-hook, which Rhino make for their roof racks when you're putting a spare tyre on a roof rack.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
good.
But
they work perfectly.
So this here, so is this actually a Mahindra tray or it's not?
It's a Triple M tray.
And you just got these made?
Well, so we got the heavy duty tray when we got the tray put on.
Yep.
And so it came standard, because it's a heavy duty tray, it came standard with this as part of the headboard. And then we got this extra matching ladder rack.
Yep. And do you use it like for... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so bringing long lengths of timber home and pipe and things like that. Yeah.
We also have a couple of canoes, like kayaks.
Yep.
And it just makes it easier to pop them up there And you've still got storage room
Terrific.
for other things.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, and I believe you guys also have an extra fuel tank?
Correct. So it's only just been mounted, but it's a bit hard. It's tucked up and really neatly, but there's a auxiliary diesel fuel tank.
Yeah.
And so that
is super.
it's 70 litres, so it's almost
70 litres?
almost the same size as the main tank.
Oh my God. And so when you fuel the main tank, do you have to flick a switch, or what do you do? How do you, I mean, honestly, I'm like so dumb when it comes to this.
Learning.
It is learning.
So that's our filler cap for the auxiliary tank.
Yep.
And if you look in there, you can see the pump.
I see, yep. Cool.
So there's a switch on the dash. So when the main tank gets low, we just flick the switch
that,
and it pumps from the auxiliary tank into the main tank.
Now, I've heard with these cars, with the trays, people complain a lot about the guggling sound. What have you heard, like, you know, when you're filling up a tank, it keeps switching off all the time?
It's just about holding the nozzle.
Okay, because someone was talking about the breather around here. You just got to move that a little bit.
Okay, so no, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just move the nozzle.
And have you got a new cap for yours?
Yeah,
a lockable cap?
That's a key locking one.
Yes.
It's just from Repco.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And yeah, because I've heard people take caps.
Yeah, mine was pinched.
Yeah, ours was too. Les's was, not mine.
No,
I don't know. I know. No, well, I am so, like, honestly, you guys have done an amazing job with your car.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really have.
I told Jared, this is his toy.
Awesome.
We're getting there.
And overall, would you recommend Mahindra? 100, like, out of all the cars you've owned in your lifetime, I mean, value for money.
Well, for us, it's that accessibility. We're not millionaires who can afford to do everything.
Yeah.
This was an accessible price point that was still really cool and did the things that, Jared really had in his mind to do. And we can then afford to do
other things,
the upgrades and stuff that were important to us to do.
Yep, totally agree.
And it's a really good size. I noticed yesterday when we were going through Ngala Rocks, I thought if you were in one of those really big utes, you would really struggle to get through in that part there. And I was thinking about some of the old bush treks I used to go on.
Well, I was thinking that too, Jared. When we were going through Ngala Rocks, it was so narrow, and I thought, holy crap, if I just turn my car that little bit more,
I'm going to hit the rock.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when I was younger, we used to go bush in the high country in Victoria, and when you're doing your 3 switchbacks and crossing creeks and stuff like that, if you've got a big car, you're not going to get through.
Yeah.
And so one of the reason this is so good on the sand is that they've got a light footprint.
Yes.
But
and have you noticed that? I've noticed that too. Like we both, Les and I, we can't believe how much it skips over the sand. Yeah. It's super light.
You get it up to just the right speed. It's like a boat, it just planes.
It just loves it. Yeah. So put your tyres down at the right spot. And
that's something we've learned very much this trip. It's all about the tyre pressure.
Yeah.
So, we're relative novices when it comes to beach driving and sand driving.
Yeah.
And, that's probably the handiest
thing to learn. Yeah.
And we intentionally went for a really good quality off-road tyre. Because it can better
that is amazing. Like, it just looks grunty.
Being deflated too.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah. No, they are really nice tyres, and a lot of people ask a lot of questions about tyres, so it's good to know.
Well, that's the other thing about the camper trailer too, is lowering the pressure on the truck, as well as the camper trailer, so that you're following the same line.
You're not dragging the trailer through the sand. It's floating in the sand the same as the car.
Yeah, and that's what you need, huh?
So one of the things we learnt putting the larger tyres on was that they were rubbing on full lock on the inside. But what they were rubbing on was a little square washer.
Yes.
And we put a round washer on and the problem went away.
Fantastic. That's really great information, honestly. Honestly, it's amazing information because we have the same issue.
And Ryan from one was precision steering. When he did the tyre fit, he figured that one out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. No, I'm super happy. That's amazing. And your car is specky. It looks great.
It's pretty grabby at the moment.
As it should be.
Yeah.
It should be right
It's sandy. It's happy. It's done a good job.
It does
and
look like it's smiling a bit, doesn't it?
It does. Look at it. It looks so happy. They all look happy. All of these cars look amazing. No, thank you so much. And love being on the trip with you. And it was super fun doing Nagala Rocks yesterday.
It really was.
Everyone had a great time.
It was a buzz.
And it was so nice to see people going through like all of our Mahindras, and none of us got stuck. But a Land Rover did, so it was amazing.
Always like that little bit of advantage, I suppose.
Exactly.
Did you notice the Land Cruiser boys standing up on the rocks?
Yes.
Because they were all watching.
Well, they were asking Gary about Mahindras, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They were like really intrigued after that. So I think we're going to generate a little bit of interest into Mahindra, which is really nice. I mean, we picked it for the right reasons, because for us, I'm like you, I wanted a four-wheel drive that would get me places that I couldn't go before.
Yep.
And I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I didn't want to pay well, there we go. There's $120,000+ right there in front of us. And I would not take that on the beach. I'm sorry, but no, that's half the price of a bloody house. I'm being really harsh, but it's true.
Well, and that's exactly what, we were looking at. We couldn't do what we're doing because we can't afford something like that.
Well, why would you do it? Because that's going to last the same amount of time as your car.
And you know what? It's a bit of fun.
of fuel on this thing too.
Correct. Yeah. Those things are sorry, Toyota people. But anyway. Anyway, it's so been a pleasure, and thank you so much for like spending time with me and talking about this car, and I love it. It's amazing. You look amazing in it.
Thank you.
And I love your little setup. I'll have to take a photo of that later and show everyone. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Cheers. I have Gene here. Now, Gene is from Total Driver. He has been the mastermind of this whole Mahindra get-together, apart from James from Mahindra, who's the marketing manager who you've met before. But Gene here, he is our expert driver, and he's been awesome, teaching us how to get through Nagala Rocks, teaching us lots of little things about Mahindra. Anyway, he's had the pleasure of actually driving one of the Mahindras like mine, and now he's got the auto, had a little drive. What do you think, Gene? You've been around a lot of cars in your lifetime. You've done a lot of cars up. You've been around Formula Car. What do you think about these things?
Well, I've been in automotive my whole life. I used to work teaching performance and race driving. I've worked with companies like Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, that sort of thing. Now, what's so unique about these is that they've got all the traits and all the characteristics that make the Land Cruiser the name that it is today.
Yeah.
They're not too big, they're not too heavy, they're extremely over-engineered. They're rugged and strong in their engineering. But what they have is they give it refinement, and that's the difference. So the engine's beautiful, it's smooth, it's tractable, the economy is amazing in it. As a manual it was well matched, but the automatic was silky smooth. The gate selector was really nice. You could rotate between the manual select and the automatic shift quite well, and it seemed to be a really nice match for what I've driven so far.
Oh, perfect. I mean, you seem to enjoy the automatic, I have to say.
I'm getting old, I'm getting lazy.
I enjoyed the automatic. So it's interesting because I didn't know that the automatic would be as good as the manual. I actually thought the manual probably in these kind of vehicles, because they're a real farm truck, they're based off a Mahindra tractor. Well, probably not. They're probably based off a Jeep. Anyway, the history is there. The history is they're robust. They, have double timing chains. They have like Eaton diff lockers, Borg-Warner gearboxes, blah, blah, blah. They got the works. But when you have this automatic, you kind of think,
Automatics have come such a long way in the last 20 years.
Okay.
In fact, their performance overall is actually superior to a manual. They don't have the losses in the drivetrain that they used to have. They've got 6 gears now, whereas we used to have 3, so they've always got a perfect gear for the perfect time. And then you've got the added feature of what the torque converter does, where it gives a torque multiplication factor, which is something a manual just can't do.
Yeah, right.
So the old school purists, they all love their manual 4-wheel drives. But you hop into these modern things and they are so intuitive, they are so on top. It's right gear, right time, right engine torque, and that's what makes a difference in the driving.
Awesome. So, I mean, if you were looking for a car that was like value for money, I mean, would you buy a Land Rover or would you buy one? I mean, let's be honest. Would you buy a Land Rover and pay that money, or would you just buy a Mahindra? I mean, what would you do? Be honest. I don't care because it's my channel.
Well, no, I was going to think of the answer for you, because I've also done vehicle drive programs for Land Rover and those companies. And the difference is you're spending $200,000, and yes, there's a lot of engineering in it. Yes. But you're spending it for the brand and the brand association of what that means to the individual. When you're buying one of these Mahindras, you're paying $30,000, $35,000. Yes. And you're getting something that's right. It's engineered well, it's economical, it's practical, it's not going to lose you $100,000 of depreciation in the first year. So what would you buy? You'd buy one of these. Yeah. It's a practical solution.
I totally get you. I totally get you. And you've been awesome for me. You've taught me so much.
It's only our first date. Thanks.
I know. Amazing. So I am super I'm super happy. Thank you so much, because you got me through Nagala Rocks. Yep. And that's super